Welcome. You have reached review time with Imperial. Today is 25 days to Christmas. Day number 4. Movie review on Home Alone 2. Let's get into it. So, 1992, Home Alone 2 came out, feeding off of Home Alone 1 that came out in 1990. And once again, the majority of the cast is same similar plot. Kevin got into it with his parents. His family was there. I think their vacation this time was to Miami. And when same thing happened, but this time what happened? They thought they forgot Kevin when they got like the airplane, the airport shuttle to come get you. He was already ahead of the game. He was already in the front seat waiting. So that was a relief. So Kevin had this toy that pretty much records people and you could play it back. So he's busy trying to get this toy from his mom's purse while they're roaming through the airport, and he put his head down, and then when he looked up, it was somebody else that was dressed like his mom, and he followed them. And the parents went to their gate in flight, and he went to his gate. So he never really touched base with his family. So at this moment, you got his flight get ready to go to New York, their flight get ready to go to Miami, and the mom is saying the same thing, like, I feel like I'm missing something. The dad is saying, no, everything, we got Kevin this time. And this time she passes out when she realized that Kevin is missing. And Kevin pretty much, he looks around once they get to New York, and he's pretty much like, where's his family at? And he like, oh no, this is happening again. So at this point he's in New York. And so but he has his dad's luggage, and like his dad's bag that had his dad like money and credit cards and stuff like that in there. So him being, like I said, by this time he like 10, and by him being a mature, smart 10-year-old, he starts to instantly think, well, I'm gonna live it up. So he goes and he's roaming New York City. Now, on the flip side, you got the Wet Bandits. They escape. So that's Joe Pesci's character and Daniel Stern. So you got Marv and Harry. They both escape prison, and then they somehow in like a fish market in New York. And while they're roaming New York, they see Kevin. And they's like, what are the chances that we escape New York and we see him? And so pretty much they try to capture him, grab him, but he dipped off on him. So Kevin, he runs into an expensive hotel. He used his recorder thing to call the hotel, but it speaks like a older man's voice, and he uses the voice to reserve a hotel with his father's credit card on there, and pretty much uh, tells the people that, basically his son to be there, and to let his son in. And so without no parental guidance, they let him in. They already had the credit card number, so they get him a room. He got room service. So the whole time they're kind of suspicious. Like, we don't never see a parent, but we got this kid staying up here, and every time they come, he be like, "Well, you just missed my dad" or whatever, and he's ordering up everything, and he brings back his video that he likes watching with the old man, the gangster mob movie, that the old man with the shooting and all that. So he brings that back. A part of also was happening in the park near the hotel. He runs into a lady who's she likes the pigeons, and she lets the pigeons crawl all over and stuff like that. So he's kind of spooked up at her at first, but then he befriends her, and she ended up coming back and helped him, and later on in the movie. So you got the wet bandits. They're up to their old tricks. They're plotting and planning to steal from the toy store that's in that area. And Kevin was, he befriended the owner of the toy store. He really liked them, and he found out that they were trying to steal the store. So when he seen them robbing the store, he threw a brick through the glass. He threw a brick through the glass, and that set the alarm off on them, because it was like a donation money there. So from there, you pretty much you had the mom. She's trying to get her way back. They found that the credit card registered in New York, so that's how they knew that's where he went, because they knew he had his bag. And so they was wondering whether he would know to look up his brother that lived in New York. And so he did look up the brother in New York, but they weren't there, and they was renovating their home. So he went there and pretty much seen that the home was being renovated. So once again, this is the plot of the first one, where he's now going to booby trap his uncle's home. And so this one, when it all jumps off, man, this was funnier than part one when it came to the booby trap in the house. And they made it funnier because you had Marv and Harry. They got muffed up, man, for real. They really got muffed up. They got one getting electrocuted, turned to the skeleton, the other one hat catching on fire. Man, he really messed them up. Throwing bricks off the roof, hitting them in the head. You know what I'm saying? And then they eventually chased them into the park, and he ran into the lady with the birds, and the cops ended up getting him. So that one was good, and it ended with the family meeting them back at the hotel, the owner of the store, of the toy store, giving them all gifts, and then the bill came in from the hotel, and he rung up like at least $10,000 worth of stuff, and they screamed his name or whatever. So that's how that one ended. It was a good movie, part two, to go off of part one. So a lot of times when there's a good part one and then they do a two, it's really whack. So this one just lived up to the hype. They same type of plot, just different city and state, and it was creative and it was funny. Now that brings me to the whole Home Alone series. There was a 3, 4. I think it went up to the 5. I want to say it went up to 5. I think after 4, I didn't watch them no more. 3 it wasn't, to me, it wasn't good. I watched 3 before, and I watched 4 before as well, and I didn't like either one of them. Just something to watch, just to see how they did what they did. Was it close to how Kevin's was? No, nowhere near close, because that was like a moment in time. It was classic. You know what I'm saying? That kind of stuff can't be duplicated. You know what I'm saying? So that's my review for this. Subscribe, like, share the video, like it, get it searching in the search engine. If you haven't seen these movies, you haven't let your children see these movies. If you haven't got in the spirit yet, sit down with your family and watch this movie. It's be, you know what I mean, just for the laughs and the enjoyment. Till next time.